What's up, guys? Chances are you're working from home right now, and so is the rest of your company. That kind of leaves the question, who's going to verify your employment, especially if you're in the middle of home buying or even refinancing, and why is it super important to verify income in today's market? That's exactly what you're going to learn in today's video, coming right up. So a couple things first, big shout out to all of our essential workers and even our medical personnel that are battling the front lines of this entire pandemic. You guys are the true MVPs in all of this right now.
You're the real MVP.
I can't thank you guys enough. From my family to yours, you guys are doing a phenomenal job of keeping things at bay. That being said, my name is Michael Anthony St.Claire, and if you're new to the channel, here we talk about different mortgage strategies, different market updates, and even home buying tips just like this one. Consider subscribing and maybe even smashing that like button, tapping that notification bell. Kind of helps just a little bit. I'm joking, but I do promise you this. You will learn something new every single week. It'll make you a more informed home buyer and a smarter homeowner altogether. So what's a VOE? Well, a VOE stands for Verification of Employment, and this is all done on a form known as a VOE form. This is sent from a lender to your HR department or payroll department, or even a third-party employment verification company such as The Work Number. Quick side note, if it is a third-party company like The Work Number, it's important that you also maybe want to get a manager or someone that can break down your income, because some of these companies, they just kind of bulk your income altogether on a verification employment form, and an underwriter is going to want to see if that is broken out. So if you are relying upon commissions, or you do receive bonuses, or maybe you do work overtime and you have to go through a third-party vendor to get your employment verification, make sure you have an actual person that can reach out to break down your income a little bit more. And then one also side note, if you don't have what's called a salary key code, some of these employment verification companies require some type of salary key code, and you need to get it from your employer. So heads up on that. You're going to want to ask your employer where the heck you get it. It's super easy to get, but they're going to be able to point you in the direction as far as where to get it executed. So heads up on that. Essentially, you want to give them the heads up, whomever this individual may be. This way, they won't be caught off guard, or there won't be any delays as far as maybe it's stuck in somebody's spam folder, or maybe stuck inside of a fax machine somewhere. You want to keep them abreast as far as what's going on. Coupled with that form, there's going to be an authorization form that you're going to have to complete, where essentially it gives your employer, you give your employer authorization to divulge that income information, such as how long you've been working there, what has been your pay rate, is there a pay raise, is there commissions, are there bonuses? I'm going to talk a little bit more about that more in this video. And if you're self-employed, it's a little bit different for you, but I'm also going to give you guys some details as far as how to verify your employment when it comes to it. But essentially, hopefully the VOE form makes sense. So I know this is completely random, but I don't know about you guys, but I've been cooped up in the home for so many weeks now, and I'm kind of getting that cabin fever feeling. So let's talk more about this outside. Let's do a quick ride around the block. I'll explain more about the VOE outside. Let's get some fresh air. So that was a good ride. And if you're watching, and bear with some of the noise, background noise, but nevertheless, it's a lot better than being indoors right now. Get to smell some of that fresh air, and it's beautiful Florida weather right now. Nevertheless, if you are a small business owner or even self-employed, and keep in mind, if you're 1099, that is still considered in the self-employment realm. What a lender is going to want to see to verify your employment is going to be a letter from a CPA or an accountant stating something on a CPA letterhead stating that you are currently still in business and when your business originated. Now, some individuals may or may not have a CPA or accountant on hand, or maybe they just never hired one. They do their own taxes. So there's going to be some other routes to verify the employment. Like here in the Florida markets, you can pull up sunbiz.org and really pull up any business that is currently active. That's one way of looking at it. Also, Google search, right? Going on Google Maps and seeing that the business is still open and active, that's what lenders are going to be looking for. Hopefully I got that last little bit in there. So a couple things that lenders are going to be looking for when they send this form as far as breaking it down. It's going to be looking for the start of employment. They want to know when you actually started at this job, because as you guys know, employment needs to have a 2-year history. The second component that they're going to be looking for is a breakdown of your income, that where an employer actually has to step out your income. How much of your income is salary, how much of it is hourly, how much of that is commissions, how much of that is bonuses, and how much of that is overtime. If you get a combination of all of those, well, that has to be stepped out on each one of those components. The same thing goes for the third-party vendors that I mentioned before. Some of them do not step this out, so it's important that you have a direct contact to someone that could fill this out a little bit better for you down the road. Now, what's equally important is having a phone number for the lender to contact. That's really important in today's market, because most lenders, prior to closing, they were doing a verbal verification of employment at least 10 days before closing. Well, with everything going on with the pandemic, they've actually shortened up that window to where they're doing it usually around the day of closing, maybe even 3 days before closing. And in some cases, they'll still do the verification of employment after closing. But whomever fills out that verification of employment form, they're gonna ask for a contact name and phone number, and that's the person that they're gonna call to do the verification. So super important, again, that you have an individual lined up that can complete this form, or at least is readily available to take those calls. Now, I understand that some individuals may be working from home and it's hard to get a hold of them on the phone. This is why lenders are being a little bit more versatile with that and are accepting verifiable emails to verify your employment. So if your employer can't get on the phone, they can actually shoot an email to the lender, and it has to come directly from your employer. Can't come from you or CC'd or anything like that. It has to come directly from your employer, stating how long you've been employed, that you're still actively employed, and things of that nature. So hopefully that makes a lot more sense. One good thing to note is temporary leaves. We understand that some individuals, at least some employers, are putting their employees on a temporary leave, meaning they're not letting them go, just right now with what's going on, business may be slow, so they have them on a temporary leave. Now, if this is put on your verification of employment, don't fret. A lender is still going to consider you as employed, meaning they're not going to discount your income. They're not going to say that, hey, you have a dip in income, or your income is now lower because of what's going on. Lenders are not doing that. However, it's important that they do state if you are on temporary leave, and more likely a lender is going to ask when that temporary leave is going to be lifted. So it's important that you have that type of relationship with your employer to identify, are they going to be bringing you back to work, or is this something that's going to be a little bit longer term? Keep that in mind. Temporary leaves are fine, but if they're indefinite, they could be an issue down the road. So hopefully this all makes sense so far. It's getting a little warm out here. Let's head back in and wrap this up. So look, I completely get it. If you're compensating for your income right now, making some changes in employment, completely understandable. At the same token, if you are pursuing home ownership or trying to better your current mortgage situation and are making these changes with employment, please just follow some of these tips. And if you have any questions that are specific to your income related scenario, please leave them in the comments section. I actually do answer back to you guys, and I'm here to help. I want to answer as many questions as I can to give you guys better informed decisions when it comes to the home buying or home refinancing process. Outside of that, stay safe, wash your hands. I'll see you guys next time.